Now I'm going to show you the different products and tools that you're going to need to utilize when doing a combination foil stamp and emboss on a narrow web flatbed machine. First, you'll need a brass combination die that's properly relieved with its corresponding counter. Spot Makeready tape. Duplaflex full. Dura cover. Tough film. The proper foil needed to run the job. And Makeready float sheets. Now that I've shown you all the proper tooling, let's see it in action. We'll go ahead and find our registration with the holes on the chase in a nice even manner. Once again, you want to get these nice and snug down to the chase so you get a proper transfer of heat throughout the entire die. Now that we got the die laid down, we'll start with our counter and our Makeready on our opposite plate. First, we'll apply sticky back of our counter. Next, we'll put our counter pins in using our counter pin extractor. Next, on our impression plate, very similar to the foil stamping and embossing, it's important that you get comfortable with what impression plate that you would like to use, the different thicknesses that may be required or come with your particular machine. Just like on the embossing, we're going to use a floating counter Makeready, where we're going to stick down a piece of Mylar, utilizing our masking tape. And again, running the direction of the web. And now we're ready to transfer our counter onto our impression plate. So for transferring the counter, first we need to pull off our sticky back. Then, utilizing our counter pins, lining it up with corresponding holes in the brass die. And now we're ready to transfer the counter onto the impression plate. As all presses are different, some require that you transfer the counter outside of the machine, like this one. It's ideal to have two operators access all screws at the same time, so the counter is dropped down evenly and adheres to the Makeready float sheet in an even manner. Now we'll remove the counter pins. Again, we're using a floating counter Makeready on our combo die. This is very crucial when a combination die is present, because if the counter does not seat into the die perfectly, it could cause what we call die cutting, where it's actually cutting the stock. It could cause your counter to wear down, and it could cause a number of other problems where you're not getting a good impression or good enough foil coverage. What we've done here is we're going to cut a slit right here into the floating counter Makeready sheet. We're going to apply the spot Makeready sheet underneath and then anchor it down with masking tape. And do Makeready right there. We just put in our combination die and counter into the press and pulled our first die strike. In looking at the web, we've got some areas that require some buildup and is going to require a spot Makeready. I'm going to demonstrate that now utilizing our floating counter and how to accurately do that. So now you can see with the combination application, we have foil stamping and embossing being done in one pass at one time, and we're having some areas where we're not covering fully with the foil. What we need to do is we need to do a spot Makeready and build up in these particular areas. And that's what I'm going to demonstrate now. Now that we've seen what areas need to be built up from our image with more foil, we're going to start the spot Makeready process and build those areas up with Makeready tape. And comes in 3 different thicknesses, 1.5 thousandths, 3 thousandths, and 6 thousandths. I like to start with the 1.5 thousandths because it provides an accurate measurement for how thick you are, and you don't overbuild in those areas that you're spotting up. The tape itself has a tacky side, which does need a little bit of wetness to it. I would advise using a sponge near your press, or you can do it simply just by licking it and putting it on, kind of like licking a stamp. And again, we're referencing our areas on our web that show us what areas we need to build up with. There was this area around the P and the E, as well as the area in the L. Each individual image. Now that we have this spot Makeready tape in place, we're going to slide our spot sheet back underneath our counter. And now your spot Makeready is properly aligned and safe underneath the counter. You're ready to go back into the press for impression.